made today. We are learning, as I've said all along, and I don't mean to repeat myself, but it bears repeating, that we are learning new information really as the minutes tick by. Mike Brooks is joining us, formerly of the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force. He's been working his sources, has some new information. Mike, what do you know?
Yes, Anderson, I'm hearing from my federal law enforcement sources that of the 7 people who were arrested, 5 of them were Americans. One was an illegal alien from Haiti on a visa overstay, and the other one was a resident alien. We're still trying to confirm the exact country of origin from him, but they're also telling me that they did not have any direct ties to al-Qaeda. They were al-Qaeda sympathizers, which we do see in a lot of radical groups. They will come out and publicly support al-Qaeda, but they had no direct ties of the 7 directly to al-Qaeda. Anderson?
And at this point, all 7 are still in custody. Do we know who was arrested where?
We're still trying to confirm the exact numbers. We're here 5 today, and at least 1 here in Atlanta. 5 in Miami, at least 1 here in Atlanta, and we're also trying to find out exactly, as I said, the country of origin of that resident alien. And as soon as I find out, I'll let you know.
All right, Mike Brooks working his sources. I want to go to Brian Andrews now from our affiliate WFOR, who is in Miami. He also has some new information. He's spoken to a woman who says she's the godmother of a suspect arrested today. Brian, what have you heard?
Well, Anderson, we're out here at the FBI offices in North Miami Beach. This is one of the buildings that our federal sources are telling us this group wanted to blow up as part of their plot. As we got here to the FBI building, we ran into family members of one of the defendants who was arrested this afternoon, who was still inside being processed before being taken down to the federal detention center. We're being told by his family that he's a 32-year-old guy named Nasir Baptiste. He goes by the name of Prince Manor, and he's one of the elders at this Masonic lodge that was raided earlier in the day by the FBI. That's where the 5 people were taken into custody. His family and friends tell us that he's a nice guy. He's a construction worker. He's married, and they say they have no idea what he'd be doing with al-Qaeda. Want to blow up buildings. What do you make of this?
I know. I'm truly down in my heart. I believe that's a stone lie. I've been knowing Nasir do better than 5 years. I never know him to get in any trouble. I never know him to have any problem with anybody. I always know him. He taught my son how to do karate. I have a son that is 18 years old. When he first met my son was only about.
So you don't think he's a terrorist, as the government's alleging?
No, I don't. I really don't believe that.
Someone along the line offered him some funds to do whatever he wanted to do, if that's what he wanted to do, as far as some subversive work. But and said they would give him whatever he needed.
Oh, so somebody had approached him to give him money to blow up buildings?
To do whatever he wanted to do, but that was far from his mind. So he had no desire to interact with these men, to accept anything that they had to offer.
So bottom line here, is your friend a terrorist?
No, he's not. Absolutely not.
Sort of raises more questions than it answers. Not quite sure the point of what that guy was saying. We've lost the reporter Brian Andrews to ask him. Pat, what do you make of what you just heard?
Well, I think one of the missions of the Bureau since 9/11, and really before 9/11, is try to identify those groups here domestically within the country that are involved with international terrorist organizations or sympathizing with those organizations. Here we have a situation where apparently there was no direct contact with anyone overseas with respect to al-Qaeda, but they're individuals that wanted to affiliate with their cause through the internet, through what we've been talking about, getting information in a lot of different sources that affiliate with that cause and that want to attack the United States. And the Bureau's mission and the redirection of the counterterrorism program within the FBI, the priority is to identify those individuals here in this country that want to conduct those types of attacks. And I think this is what we're going to see in this case as it unfolds.
Jim Walsh from MIT, there's a lot, of course, we don't know at this point. You're with the MIT Security Studies program. What are the details that you have heard thus far which seem most important to you with what we know?
Well, I recall something that Gene Meserve said earlier, and that is that this group may have had no affiliation with al-Qaeda. Again, these are all allegations. We need to keep reminding ourselves of that. But this alleged group may have had no tie to al-Qaeda, may have been inspired by them. Now, what does that mean? When you step back in context, you'll remember that back in 2003, the head of the CIA and the head of the Defense Intelligence Agency said Al-Qaeda was changing. It had weakened as a central organization. It had become decentralized, broken up, and what you had instead of the old Al-Qaeda was local groups thinking globally and acting locally, but in a pernicious way. And so those folks who attacked the subway in Britain, they weren't connected to Al-Qaeda. They were simply a local group inspired by Al-Qaeda. The allegation in Canada that there was a group that wanted to buy fertilizer and make a fuel bomb, they had no direct ties to Al-Qaeda, but they were people who were inspired by it. And what you had particularly after the war in Iraq, was a global problem that Al-Qaeda's ideology, its ideology, if not the direct communications, were inspiring people to act out. Now, of course, this country, we've always had people since the revolution who have had grievances against the government and have sometimes acted violently. And what we have here is some of those folks are taking up that ideology and now acting in the name of that ideology.